My beloved child, tonight the air around you is heavier than usual, as if the world is holding its breath for a moment only you were destined to witness, because tomorrow someone you once prayed for, cried for, and quietly surrendered to fate is returning, not by accident, not by coincidence, but because something far greater than human intention has been set in motion. The universe has been rearranging your timeline silently, shifting energies, removing obstacles, steering you through delays and heartbreaks so that the moment he steps toward you tomorrow, you will understand why nothing before this ever worked, and why everything in your life suddenly feels like it has been leading to one single arrival. Even now, while you are listening, there is a pulse in the atmosphere around you, a subtle trembling, like destiny knocking from the other side of a door you didn't realize was unlocked all along, and tomorrow that door opens whether you feel ready or not, because his steps are already approaching your reality. There is a reason your intuition has been restless lately, why your heart beats differently at night, why something inside you whispers that something massive is coming, something that could change the direction of your life entirely, and tomorrow, when he appears, his eyes will carry the weight of truths he could never speak before. And yet, before you think this is just a reunion, understand that tomorrow is not about him simply returning. It is about a revelation he has been holding inside his chest for months, a truth so heavy that it shaped the way he disappeared, the way he watched you from the shadows, the way he kept trying to come back but stopped himself at the last second because he knew that once he stood before you again, nothing would ever be the same. This time he isn't coming with hesitation. He isn't coming confused. He isn't coming unsure of how he feels. He is coming with a purpose, driven by something he discovered recently, something that threatened to destroy everything he once believed about you, but instead awakened him to a depth of emotion he didn't know he was capable of holding. He realized something about you that changed him at the core, something that made him question his past choices, something that made him admit that letting you go was the biggest mistake of his life, and tomorrow he comes to confess exactly what that was. You may not know it yet, but he has been preparing himself for days, rehearsing words he keeps losing, battling fears he once allowed to defeat him, and tomorrow he walks through that fear because he finally understands that destiny doesn't wait for those who hesitate. What makes tomorrow so powerful is not just his arrival, but the force that pushed him toward you. An undeniable sign, a message, a moment that hit him like lightning recently, proving that no matter how far he ran, no matter how deeply he hid his feelings, no matter how long he tried to silence the connection between you both, something always pulled him back to you. He tried convincing himself that time would dull the memory of your presence, but time only intensified everything. He tried burying the sound of your voice in his mind, but it echoed louder the more he resisted. He tried erasing the way you looked at him with trust, with softness, with a silent hope he didn't know how to handle, but every face he saw reminded him of the one he walked away from. Something happened that forced him to look directly into his truth, something he couldn't avoid anymore, and in that moment he realized that he doesn't just miss you, he needs to stand before you again, because the future refuses to unfold without that meeting. And tomorrow, when he stands in front of you, you will feel the intensity he tried so hard to deny, the gravity of a connection that refuses to die, and the spark that was never meant to fade. But understand this, tomorrow brings more than clarity. It brings confession. You will finally hear the reason he kept his distance, the truth he was terrified to reveal before, the fear that chained him and blinded him. His silence wasn't rejection, it was panic. He didn't disappear because he didn't care. He disappeared because you mattered too much, and he feared that if he came too close, he would ruin everything. People around him influenced him, circumstances cornered him, past wounds made him hesitate, but every time he tried to settle into a life without you, life itself refused to let him. Signs chased him, dreams haunted him, moments broke him, and all of it led to one unstoppable realization: he couldn't escape what was meant for him. He couldn't replace you. He couldn't rewrite destiny. And tomorrow, destiny collects its due. He comes with the truth he once hid, with the courage he once lacked, with the love he once feared, and when you hear it, something in your heart will shift forever. The world around you will feel different tomorrow, as if the air changes, as if time slows, as if everything pauses just long enough for the universe to say, "This is the moment." You won't have to chase, you won't have to ask, you won't have to wonder, he comes to you. His presence will carry a weight you haven't felt in a long time, a seriousness that tells you he isn't here to play with your heart or repeat history, he comes to rewrite everything. And when he stands before you, there will be a silence, one that says everything words can't capture. In that silence, you will feel the truth. His return was never random, his timing was never late, and this meeting was never optional. Something massive begins tomorrow, something that will test you, awaken you, transform you, and pull you into a chapter that destiny has been preparing for far longer than you realize. Tomorrow, he comes. And nothing will be the same after that. The night before his arrival carries a strange electricity, a quiet storm building beneath the surface of your reality, as if every unseen force is aligning to make sure you cannot escape what tomorrow brings, because the universe will not let you slip away from the moment that has been written into your destiny since the day your paths first crossed. You may feel restless, you may feel an intensity in your chest that refuses to calm, you may feel as though something is calling your name from a place beyond logic, and that feeling is not your imagination, it is the pull of fate tightening around you. My beloved child, tomorrow is not simply a meeting, it is a convergence of timelines, a moment when everything hidden becomes visible and everything broken finds the beginning of restoration. He comes carrying memories he never voiced, emotions he never handled well, and a truth so heavy he can no longer keep it inside without it breaking him. He tried suppressing it for too long, and now the universe is pushing him toward you with a force he can no longer resist. Something happened to him recently that shook him awake. Something that made him realize how fragile life is, how quickly everything can change, how easily someone you love can slip through your fingers if you don't fight for them. That moment, unexpected, sharp, unforgettable, lit a fire inside him that he couldn't extinguish, no matter how hard he tried. It made him remember you in a way that felt urgent, necessary, impossible to ignore. He couldn't distract himself. He couldn't pretend. He couldn't silence the voice inside him that kept repeating your name. And tomorrow, he is coming not just to speak, but to finally do the one thing he kept running from, to choose you openly, without hesitation, without fear, without hiding behind excuses or pain. His heart is stepping forward before his body even reaches you, and everything in him is preparing to reveal what he once buried in shadows. Tomorrow he won't just knock on your door or appear in your path casually. Every part of his arrival will feel intentional, almost scripted by a higher hand, as though the world is pausing just for the two of you. His eyes will carry the weight of nights he couldn't sleep, days he couldn't focus, moments he wished he could take back, and silent attempts he made to approach you but lost courage at the last second. And yet, when he sees you, all that hesitation finally breaks. The truth is, he has imagined this moment 1,000 times, rehearsing what he might say, how he might stand, how he might express the things he once locked behind pride and confusion. But none of those rehearsals matter anymore, because the real moment will overwhelm him beyond anything he planned. You are not just someone he missed, you are the person he realized he cannot move forward without. There is something he will confess tomorrow that will change your understanding of everything that happened between you. A truth he never trusted himself to admit, not because he didn't want you, but because he feared he wasn't enough, feared he would disappoint you, feared he would lose the only person who ever saw him with real depth. His silence was not rejection, it was fear of failing you. His distance was not coldness, it was a battle within himself that he refused to show. And tomorrow, he brings that truth with trembling hands and a steady heart, ready to face whatever comes, because losing you again is not something he is willing to risk. He has grown in ways you never saw, healed wounds you never knew he carried, and awakened to a realization that your connection was never temporary, never accidental, never ordinary. Stay with me, because tomorrow is the moment everything shifts. The beginning of a chapter that destiny guarded fiercely, the return of someone who once left but could never forget, and the arrival of a truth powerful enough to rewrite the story of your life. When he stands before you, the energy will change. The atmosphere will thicken. Time will feel slower. And in that silence between you, something ancient, something cosmic, something undeniable will awaken. His arrival marks the moment your life steps into a new frequency, a higher alignment, a path overflowing with meaning that you are finally ready to step into. Tomorrow, he comes with truth, with purpose, with a heart that finally understands who it beats for. And when he does, you will feel the world shift beneath your feet. The hours leading into tomorrow carry a quiet tension, the kind that settles into the air before something life-changing arrives, as if the universe itself is bracing for impact, preparing you for a chapter that has been waiting to unlock since the moment your destinies intertwined. All day, signs will surround you, small shifts, unexpected thoughts, sudden memories, waves of emotion that rise without warning. As if every invisible force is whispering that this is not an ordinary day but the final turning point before everything changes. My beloved child, his energy is already moving toward you, brushing against your aura like a warm current in a cold room, awakening parts of you that have been dormant for far too long. Deep inside, you will feel this rush, this pull, this unexplainable certainty that tomorrow is a doorway, and once you walk through it, life will never return to what it was before. That feeling is not fear, it is destiny preparing your heart for impact. What he carries within him tomorrow is not simple affection or regret, it is a storm he has been fighting alone for months, a storm of truth, longing, guilt, awakening, and a love he never understood until he nearly lost all connection to it. Something inside him shattered recently. Not in a way that broke him, but in a way that forced him to grow, forced him to confront wounds he avoided, forced him to admit truths he hid even from himself. He realized how deeply your absence affected him, how every attempt to move forward without you felt hollow, and how every step he took away from you somehow circled back to the same memory, the look in your eyes the last time he saw you. That look became the compass of his soul, guiding him even when he tried to walk in the opposite direction. And tomorrow he is coming not just to return to your life, but to kneel before the truth he once ran from. There is something he discovered, an information, a revelation, a realization, that broke the last of his resistance and pushed him into a place of absolute certainty about you. Someone told him something, or he overheard something, or he witnessed something that hit him like a silent lightning strike, exposing how much danger he put himself in by pretending his feelings were unimportant. It shook him, awakened him, forced him to look at everything he had ignored. He realized how irreplaceable you are, how rare your connection is, how impossible it is for him to deny the pull anymore. He saw something about you that made his heart contract with both fear and awe, forcing him to confront the truth he avoided, that you were never just someone he liked, you were the one thing in his life that made sense, the one presence that brought peace, the one soul he felt safe with even when he didn't understand why. Tomorrow, when he arrives, he will carry a silence at first. A heavy, trembling silence filled with everything he wished he had said earlier, everything he wished he hadn't done, everything he wished he could rewrite. That silence will speak louder than any apology, louder than any confession, louder than any declaration of love, because within that silence is the raw truth he tried to bury for far too long. He knows he has to face you with honesty this time. He knows there is no room for half-truths, no room for hesitation, no room for running again. He will look at you with a seriousness that you have never seen in him before, a depth that wasn't there months ago, a fire that tells you he is not here to leave again. He comes with intention, with clarity, with the weight of a man who has finally realized the cost of his silence. And when he speaks, his voice will shake, not because he is unsure, but because the magnitude of this moment overwhelms him. He will tell you things he never dared to admit, confess thoughts he locked away, reveal fears he thought would push you from him, and expose truths he once believed were too heavy to place on your shoulders. But tomorrow, he chooses vulnerability over pride, truth over fear, destiny over avoidance. Stay with me, because when he stands before you, every part of your life will pause, every unanswered question will find direction, and every doubt will dissolve into clarity. His arrival is not just a return, it is the beginning of a transformation in both of your lives, a shift the universe has waited too long to unfold. Tomorrow he comes, and the moment he looks at you, the world will realign in a way that makes every heartbreak, every delay, every silent night finally make sense. The final hours before his arrival will feel unreal, as though the world around you is moving differently, slowed down, stretched, intensified by an invisible force that wants you to feel every second leading toward tomorrow. Even the air will feel heavier, charged with anticipation, as if something sacred is approaching your life and nothing can interrupt its path. My beloved child, tonight destiny stands closer to you than ever before, watching you, preparing you, shaping the ground beneath your feet for the moment that will alter everything you believe about timing, fate, love, and the silent connections that never truly break. You may notice flashes of his memory, sudden emotions rising in your chest, moments where your intuition whispers louder than usual, and these sensations are not random. They are the universe aligning you with the vibration of what comes next. Tomorrow is no longer a date on a calendar, tomorrow is the moment your story shifts into a chapter that will redefine your entire understanding of who he is and who you are meant to become. While you wait, know that he is not simply preparing himself physically. His soul is in turmoil, replaying moments of your past, remembering things he thought he forgot, feeling emotions he once suppressed, and battling fears he can no longer hide behind. He feels the pull of destiny as strongly as you do, perhaps even more intensely, because he knows he is the one who walked away, hesitated, or delayed what his heart always knew was right. The weight on his shoulders tonight is unlike anything he has felt before. He is confronting old wounds, past mistakes, lessons he ignored, and truths he refused to accept. And yet, even with all that fear, he moves forward. Even with uncertainty pressing against his chest, he continues preparing to face you. Tomorrow, he does not come as the same person you once knew. He comes transformed, shaped by regret, strengthened by realization, awakened by clarity, and humbled by the simple truth that he cannot run from you anymore. There is a revelation he will carry into tomorrow, one he has never spoken aloud, not even to himself fully, because admitting it felt too vulnerable, too exposing, too real. But after everything he experienced recently, after the signs, the dreams, the emotional breakdowns, the moments he imagined losing you forever, he knows that holding this truth inside any longer would destroy him. This revelation is the reason destiny pushed him back toward your path instead of allowing him to drift further away. It is the reason he woke up one morning with his heart racing, realizing something about you that left him breathless. It is the reason he kept trying to forget you but only remembered you more intensely with each passing day. And tomorrow, when he stands before you, his eyes will reveal that truth before his lips even speak it. It will hit you like a wave. Heavy, overwhelming, undeniable, and in that moment, everything will click into place in your heart. You will understand why the connection between you never faded, why time could not erase him, and why tomorrow had to come exactly when it does. Tomorrow's meeting will not begin with loud words or dramatic gestures, it will begin with a silence so deep it pulls you in like a current. The silence between two souls that were always meant to find their way back. His presence will be different, grounded, intense, almost trembling with the pressure of everything he has to say but doesn't know how to begin. He will start slowly, carefully, measuring each word as if he fears one wrong sentence could shatter the moment. But underneath his caution is a fire, one that has been burning quietly inside him, growing stronger each time he tried to extinguish it. When he speaks, you will hear sincerity in his tone that was never there before. You will hear a man who has wrestled with his own shadows and finally emerged with courage. You will hear someone ready to open doors he once kept locked, someone ready to let you into corners of his heart he never let anyone near. Tomorrow, he will speak the truth that destiny has been waiting for. Stay with me, because what happens after tomorrow begins is the true shift. The moment when his confession meets your inner strength, when your silence meets his vulnerability, when your past meets his realization, and the future begins rewriting itself in real time. You won't feel confused. You won't feel abandoned. You won't feel lost. You will feel a deep, anchoring certainty that this moment was never meant to be avoided. The universe protected it, delayed it, refined it, strengthened it, and now it is finally ready to unfold. And when he stands before you, the world will feel different, smoother, heavier, more aligned, as if everything that once fell apart was simply rearranging itself for this exact point. Tomorrow, he comes not just with words, but with a heart ready to step into its truth. The day he arrives will begin with an unusual stillness, a calm that feels almost supernatural, as if the world is making space for something monumental to unfold, something that has been waiting behind the scenes for far too long. Even the light will feel different, softer yet sharper, touching everything around you with a quiet urgency, as though the universe is reminding you that today is not ordinary. My beloved child, you will wake with a sensation in your chest that tells you something massive is on its way, a pull, a pressure, a knowing. It won't feel like anxiety, it will feel like alignment, a sense that today destiny finally moves from silence into form. His energy will reach you before he physically does, brushing against your spirit like a familiar warmth, announcing his approach in a way that only your soul can recognize. And when the hours shift closer to the moment your paths cross again, the world around you will seem to guide you into place, arranging everything so that nothing interrupts the meeting fate has been protecting for months. He, too, will feel this shift from the moment he opens his eyes. He will wake with a heaviness in his chest, not from fear, but from the weight of truth he can no longer hold inside. Every breath he takes will carry your name, every thought will pull him closer, every memory will echo louder. He will replay moments he once pushed away, conversations he never finished, emotions he didn't understand at the time. Today he won't try to silence them, today he lets them guide him. His mind will drift to the softness in your voice, the sincerity in your heart, the way you once looked at him with trust he didn't know how to carry. And as he prepares to come toward you, he will feel a clarity sharper than anything he has experienced, a realization that this is the moment he has been delaying out of fear, but also the moment he has been needing more than he ever admitted. Today, he isn't coming confused or uncertain. Today, he is coming because he finally understands exactly what you mean to him. What he carries toward you is a truth he discovered during a painful moment, a moment where he saw himself clearly for the first time. He realized how his silence affected you, how his absence wounded you, and how his hesitation created a distance that neither of you deserved. It wasn't pride that kept him away, it was fear of messing up, fear of not being enough, fear of losing the only genuine connection he ever felt in his life. But life doesn't let anyone hide from truth forever, and the universe kept pushing him, showing him signs, sending him reminders, breaking his illusions one by one until there was nowhere left for him to run except toward you. Something inside him shattered in a way that rebuilt him stronger, wiser, more open. And today he comes prepared to speak all the words he once buried, the emotions he once choked back, the truth he once believed would scare you away. He no longer fears the truth. He fears only losing the chance to give it to you. When he finally reaches you, there will be a pause, a long, heavy silence that feels charged with every moment you spent apart. His eyes will search yours, not to test you, but to find courage within the connection that never left. You will see emotions swirling inside him, regret, longing, tenderness, and an unspoken promise he can no longer hide. His voice might tremble at first, not because he doubts his feelings, but because the moment holds more meaning than he imagined. He will tell you things he never dared to express, reveal thoughts he suppressed for far too long, and open his heart in a way that feels raw, vulnerable, truthful. He will explain why he stayed away, what held him back, what fears choked him, what realizations shook him awake. And as he speaks, every word will feel like a door finally being opened, a release of everything that ever weighed on his soul. Stay with me, because today marks the beginning of a shift that neither of you can undo. His confession will not just bring clarity, it will change the entire atmosphere around you, shifting the direction of your future and removing the shadows that once stood between you. You will feel destiny tightening its grip, guiding you both into a story that no longer drifts in uncertainty but moves with purpose. And when he looks at you after speaking his truth, you will feel something ancient ignite, a knowing that this moment is exactly where your timelines were always meant to meet. Today is not merely about his return, it is about the rewriting of two lives that were always meant to find each other again, stronger, clearer, and finally ready for what comes next.